All right, everyone. So Rikishi made more big time statements about Jey Uso and WWE. Here is what he had to say.
Well, you know what? It comes from the head of the corporate table. As far as I posted out on my social media about this matter with I like to call my son the Yeet Man, and I mentioned this is no favoritism to him or just anyone, but as wrestlers, as a wrestler that's been there, put in work, and you can see the outpouring of love and support from the fans, whether it be Jey Uso or somebody else. And that was my question, the same thing that you're asking, because I want to know, what is it that this kid has to do? We can see he's probably the hottest intro when this kid is coming out. The fans, you talk about the fan engagement, you see it. We all see it. But yet, when it comes to the time to give this kid his flowers and let's do business, why wasn't my son handled with Money in the Bank? Why could he? I mean, where's the guy that won the Money in the Bank? What is he doing now? What business sense does that make for a company to let the most exciting guy, a guy that is not a liability, a guy that shows up and shows out, a guy that does his job? What is it? Does it hurt the company to even give this kid a shot? And so I thought once the Money in the Bank didn't go through, I said, well, let's see what they do now. Maybe they would give him a shot. There's, set him up for, I don't know, some type of belt, maybe an Intercontinental Champion belt. Maybe that, or if you ask me, I think he deserves a shot to the World Championship belt. And, when that didn't happen either, it's like, okay, I'm at this point where I just want to call my son, hey, go ahead and just take a break. Because obviously them writers don't know where to put you or where you can write something that's right for the character of Jey Uso, the Yeet Man. And I mentioned this, definitely WWE is making money off the Yeet Man. The Yeet Man is making money himself. But the only difference is the Yeet Man is working for his money. WWE, they making, you see it every week. There's a new merchandise of Yeet coming out. This Yeet hoodie, this Yeet foam hand, this thing, this, that, this, and the Yeet Man is out doing personal appearances. I mean, that's why? It's not because he have to, but it's because that's the demand of the fans. They want all the characters that they pick the Yeet Man. And so what I'm saying is no mistake, let's make no mistake about it. I am not favoritism this boy, my son, to be able to speak on this. What I'm speaking is about what's happening, because this can be any other wrestler. It can be a female wrestler, a guy wrestler, whatever the case. But what is the case? Why are y'all not pulling the, lighting this kid up and just, let him do his thing? And so, but I appreciate everybody, for, when I put out my posts, everybody came through, because obviously y'all feel the same way I do. And let's just hope, WWE get it together and, do the right thing.
So I don't know if in this exact clip he does say it, but he also mentions that there's other places that he could go, Jey Uso. And look, this is a lot. Now, he really does focus in on the Money in the Bank, and we did a video on this at the time, talking about kind of the reaction to how Money in the Bank was handled. We get a little bit of a different take in the sense that we kind of understood WWE's in a weird place. They have so much talent that it's tough to kind of book all of these guys properly, or book them to have championships, because you don't want championships constantly being turned over. And we'd like to see a bunch of guys have a championship, but not everybody can have one. With that being said, it is, I think, unquestionable that WWE is in a way dropping the ball with Jey Uso, because he's so over, and it just doesn't feel like he's ever a part of really these big, impactful storylines. It feels like, he's more of a guy, like he said, like the Yeet Man, right? And as good as the Yeet is, as much as the fans love it, I think the fans want to actually get behind him for something super meaningful. Like if they can incorporate him back with Roman Reigns or something like that. But even that, I have a feeling Rikishi may kind of be like, yeah, I mean, we like it, but at the same time, we're we want to see him get a push. And I think part of it was, he had a chance at WrestleMania to really have a big impact, and the match just didn't go the way they wanted it. Jey Uso admitted this, kind of everybody's admitted it wasn't how they wanted it to go. So that moment was taken from him. There's just so many little things that have led to where we are now. But WWE does have to understand that right now WWE is in what you call the honeymoon period, right? Vince is gone, Triple H is in, and I know Triple H has been there, for a while, but you got to understand that even before, even when Triple H was still in this position, people still kind of figured it was Vince behind the scenes. With Vince completely separated and out of there, this is now viewed as all Triple H, right? This is Triple H's time. And so this honeymoon period has been fantastic because they had all of these great things happen all at the same time. Obviously, the TKO deal, everything coming here at once has led to everybody's loving what's going on. You have more talent than they've had since the Attitude Era currently on this roster. You have more money than WWE has ever seen and more kind of resources because of these deals that are being made. And that's saying stuff, because they had a lot of resources even under Vince once the thing really took off. And so you have more talent, more resources. You're back in kind of the pop culture. People are loving the storylines. That's the honeymoon period here. You're going to get to a point where, like this, where this is where that kind of breaks down. When people start getting frustrated and when people start getting upset. And this is going to determine, the future in a way of the company and of, how Triple H's tenure in this role is going to be viewed. Is how does he handle not just when the storylines are all going great and everything is going fantastic, but how does he handle as the guy in charge, and how does WWE as a whole handle, kind of a little bit of real adversity. And I think Triple H is going to knock it out of the park. I think Triple H is the perfect guy to be the kind of, the in charge right now, because Triple H has two things. Number one, he has a understanding of how all the behind the scenes works, right, from his role as someone who is, in his position, meaning he's not just someone who doesn't get how any of the corporate stuff works. He's not someone that doesn't understand the big picture storytelling. He has that. But on the other side, he also has years and years and years of wrestling experience. And so, when a wrestler comes in to talk to him, or if he's talking to a wrestler, he can understand what that guy's going through because he went through it, right? He can level with them on that. And also there is probably a little bit of, hey, wrestlers know what he has done throughout his whole career, so they kind of look at him and they go, this guy's one of my icons. So it's just it's he's the perfect guy because he's able to kind of bridge that gap between the corporate aspect of it and the wrestler aspect of it. But the key here for WWE is you're going to start pissing off guys who are great stars. You're just going to do it because you have so many, it's impossible to make everybody happy at the same time. And how they respond to that is going to be key. Are they able to find spots for, not just one Uso, but both Usos, right? How are you going to make sure that you have these two guys that are super talented? How are you going to make sure they get their title shots, or you're accurately, pushing them into the spotlight? And look, I haven't read this, so you can put in the comments if it's wrong or whatever. But one of the changes of going to Netflix that's going to be huge is that you're not stuck in this TV, TV. When you're on TV, when you're on cable, you are only slotted for this amount of time. You have this amount of commercials. They come on here. There's so many things you can't do. Versus on Netflix, I mean, you're gonna. My guess is they're still gonna have a broad time, obviously, of when it starts and when it finishes. But you could kind of change things around a little bit, right? You can change things around a little bit. It's probably always going to start at the same time, but maybe it finishes later, or maybe they decide they're going to, you could just do more, and maybe they could utilize that to get guys, the spotlight that they need. We will see, but I just think Rikishi, man, he is putting it all out there, And from the comments we've seen on prior videos, people seem to agree with Rikishi. Don't know if that's going to be the case with this one as well, but I'm interested to see all of the comments. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.